Hi guys, Oracle here, and you're welcome to another episode of the Pragmatic Approach Show. Continue to like, share, comment, and more importantly, subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Sure.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for last episode. Thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel. We're happy to see you guys back. We'll be discussing a lot of great topics today. So you all are welcome back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with friends and family. Thank you.
All right, guys. I start this episode by agreeing with Republican Party for once. I mean, not for once. I mean, I'm very pragmatic. I give credit when it's due. Per the report that came out this this week, it shows that inflation is down by 2%. So we want to take this moment to appreciate the Republican Party for bringing down inflation. The prices of gas are still a little high, but at least inflation is down by 2%. That's a good way to start. We hope that they will keep this energy. Sure, what do you have to say about that? I know you're happy about that. So I
Oh,
give
yes.
Mr. Flow.
This is an issue that affects the whole of America. So I am delighted that we are starting to get some relief after 4 disastrous years of Biden. I am glad we have a commander in chief that knows exactly what he's doing and is prioritizing Americans. We're trying to make our grocery prices cheaper, our gas prices. There was a report that came out that for the first time, gas price went down to 4 years low. And who was in office 4 years ago? That was our baby Trump. So we are glad we are coming back to being great again, and we'll continue to make it great. You know, uh, over the past couple of weeks, even a month now, there's been reports from all these propagandist media, you know, targeting Trump and his administration, making it seem like we are already drowning and the world is ending. So here's me telling you, please just relax. The world is not ending. We are trying to fix it. And the people that don't want it fixed are the ones shouting, destroying our society, and burning down buildings, including Tesla's offices. So those are the people that don't want this country to be great. But we are not going to let them, because no matter how relentless they are, we won't let them overtake our country. We will take back our country, and we've started taking it back. So yes, we will make sure the country is great again.
Um, 4 years ago, I just wanted to remind you people that Biden was president, not Trump. And the people born in Tesla's office or whatever, I think that's criminal. Regardless of your political opinions, you should not violently attack your opponent. But yeah, we will not talk about how White House became, Tesla's showroom, which is actually a crime constitutionally. The president of the United States is not supposed to do that. But we know the president has a strong love for not obeying the rules. I mean, he's a 34-time convicted felon. So yeah, we will not dwell on criminal. So today, Republicans want us to talk about why is the Democratic Party over at the national level. I would I'd answer this question, but I'm not going to explain myself first. Then I'll let Shaw speak as to why he think or thought or feels that the Democratic Party is over at the national level. But let me answer the question. The Democratic Party is not over at the national level. Sure. Do you think the party that has given America the best economies at different times in this country's history is over at the national level? I'm talking about the Democratic Party.
Yes, thank you for that question. So, It's very sad watching the Democratic Party being hijacked by a bunch of activists. This is a party that used to be the party of the regular people, the party that used to support common sense, the party that used to be the middle class party, the party that used to promote stability. But now, over the years, I don't know what went wrong. Maybe since Obama or whatever, I think it's just been going downhill. They are increasingly becoming the party of the rich and elites. They call people that vote for Trump, uneducated. They call some people um, racist for just having views about anything. They call people all kinds of names. Now they label you homophobic. They label you. You can't even get to say anything anymore without being labeled by this same political party. However, this same party is the party that's attracting all the activists. Pretty much any activist now is automatically a Democrat. But this party used to not be like that. It just used to be the party of freedom and party that used to promote middle class. Now it's just party of Taylor Swift's, uh, even Bill Gates, but they will complain about Elon Musk. These people, they were bragging about all these Fortune 500 companies endorsing Kamala. This, go listen to Kamala's campaign. She was talking about over 50 Fortune 5 companies. Those CEOs, they are not thousandaires. These are multimillionaires. But now they're complaining about Elon Musk. However, I think over time, the Democratic Party has lost that connection they used to have with the general population. The things they prioritize don't necessarily uh, cannot get anybody into the presidency, and for that reason, I believe they can't really win any national election at this moment. It might change, depending on what Trump does, but right now, it's not looking great for them at all.
So you think at the moment the Democratic Party does not stand a chance at the national level?
Yes, that's what I strongly believe.
Excuse me. So let's start with this. You said it's the party that has been hijacked by the billionaires. I for one don't think that's true, because the last time I checked, under Biden's administration, there was not one single billionaire in that cabinet. But under your Trump's administration, there are about eight billionaires in that cabinet. So it begs me to ask the question of which party has been hijacked by the billionaires. And also, I don't think activism is bad the way you try to make it sound that, oh, it's the party of the activists now. The activists in the Republican Party too. I think activism has just become a sentimental issue in America now, depending on whichever party that is in office. If a Democrat were in office tomorrow too, Republicans will switch to the party of activism because they want to, you know, speak against the president. But going back to the conversation, is the Democratic Party dead at the national level? I don't think so. I think right now the party is going through what any party who just lost an election a couple months ago is going through. There is no there's no clear leader. So everybody at the moment is still fighting, to position themselves. And that's why you've started to see people like Tim Walz saying he's going to start going to do town halls in Republican, strong areas where, according to the memo that came out last week, I think the Republican caucus agreed that their congressmen and women should not go back to their constituencies to do town halls right now for whatever reasons. And you saw a Democrat governor, Tim Wolf, saying he's going to start going to those places. So that's how you see that the party is done from the gutters that they were in from the defeat in November, which is normal. Republican went through the same thing when they lost in 2020. For the first couple of months, everybody goes into hiding, trying to hibernate, and trying to come back stronger, and trying to clearly define a new leader for the party. Fortunately, Trump was able to hijack being the leader of the party again after the loss. But right now, the Democratic Party, different people are still trying to come up to to fit into that leadership position. Another person I'm starting to see is the senator from Arizona, McKelly, who is a decorated war hero in this country, but a man who evaded, who ran away from his own birth country because he was trying to not get into the military, had the guts to call a traitor. Very sad and unfortunate. Mark Curley is an American hero by all means and by all standards. Is an American hero, more of a hero than Trump, more of a hero than Elon would actually ever be. That's another guy that I'm seeing from his interviews that is positioning himself for the leadership of the Democratic Party. Another person that I've seen is Adam Schiff, is another senator. So I think in this moment, the party is just trying to define who becomes the next leader. And you may not clearly see that now. Maybe by midterms, which is next year, somebody would have, you know, completely come around and define him or herself as the leader. I haven't seen too many women. I think Senator Warren from Massachusetts is trying, but another person is the congresswoman from Texas, uh, Jasmine Crockett. So
Oh,
there are people
sir,
like
do
that.
you really believe? So this is the problem I'm
No, no,
having with
there
the
are again.
Democrats,
I'm
man.
not saying she
Do
is the
you
leader.
really think Jasmine Crockett is going to win nationally? Do
I'm
you know
not
that
saying
ghetto
win
woman?
nationally, but at least all of them are coming around to speak on
Everybody
behalf
you
of the party.
mentioned cannot win nationally, sir.
One person that I actually, there are two people that I was expecting to be in the forefront of starting this thing, and I haven't seen them. One is Governor Gavin Newsom of California. I thought he had um, he had a chance to start to position himself
Are you really
as
talking
a
about
national
Gavin?
figure.
Sir, are you living in reality? This is the problem. Are you
Gavin Newsom is the governor of California,
you really
the
believe
largest,
everybody
the
thinks
biggest state in
Gavin is doing
America.
something right?
Why can't he position himself for? I mean,
Okay,
but I wouldn't also be surprised that it's not coming out because I saw an interview at, excuse me, like 2 years ago where he said he really doesn't have an interest in being president. Another guy that I was hoping to start to see is the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. I felt like during the last election, he kind of gained a little bit of momentum that I would have thought at a time like this, he would position himself as one of the voices of the party to get the national attention. But I am very optimistic that by midterm, you somebody would have come around and clearly define him or herself as the leader of the party and would be instrumental to our landslide victory by midterms because we know for a fact that with the trajectory of the country, the abuse of power, the firing and rehiring of people, the unnecessary tariff wars that is affecting our farmers, and they're now in deep, crisis. They would be frustrated by
sir,
midterms,
I've let you,
and
I've
they're
allowed you
going
to
to.
lie enough. I need to intervene, sir.
You don't
Nobody
like
is
to hear the
complete.
truth, unfortunately, but
No,
I'll
no,
let you.
nobody
I'll
is.
let you lie.
No, nobody is complaining right now. But I think I should ask the questions. That way, you can defend your party. So, what messaging do you think the Democratic Party have that's better than the Republican Party right now? Is it the economy? Let's talk about the economy. Do you think the Democrats have better messaging regarding the economy?
I actually think with the current trajectory of the economy, the Democrat would have a better messaging by midterms to campaign on. Because I mean, while I admitted at the start of this show that the inflation is down by 2%, when the tariff that this guy is trying to still be hell bent on would have implication that could bring the change the trajectory of the economy. And not a single economist that has spoken has supported the idea of the tariff. And as a matter of fact, per the recent reports that is coming up, the country is likely to go into a recession. So those are, if God forbid, I don't want that, but if your guy successfully drives us into a recession, that becomes a good messaging for any serious Democratic leader that wants their march. So, what other thing do you want to ask me?
Okay, so just to review that right quick, there is a report that came from CNN, actually came out today, that um, the economy looks very promising and we may not be hitting any recession anytime soon. Okay, so that's just a report that came out. I believe I read it just a couple of hours ago.
I haven't
So
seen
the
that.
second one is because these are the things that resonated well with the general public in this past election, the economy.
True.
Apparently, we know that Kamala didn't really have good messaging. Everything she was saying revolved around spending more money. So number two, let's talk about. Go
But
ahead. You wanted
hasn't
to say something?
Donald Trump spent more money in this last? I just read the report of the monthly spend, and this guy spent over 600 billion in February.
On what?
The cumulative government expenses in February was 600 billion.
Yes, we are going to find out at the end
It,
of the year because the goal is to balance the budget for the first time in over 30 years, right? And I believe with Doge in place, we are going to be able to achieve that.
so you think Elon Musk is really going to balance the budget?
We believe the whole of the administration will. You know, we've been removing all these bureaucrats that are only always in meetings. They are not doing the job. Most
The,
people are
the,
very
the lie
unhappy.
you people choose to believe about what Doge is doing is funny. Because this guy in the last couple of weeks would just come every day, mention figures that has been recovered. So when you question were the people stealing this money, oh no, it was money meant for a project that the Congress approved. Because by the way, before any money is spent, Congress has to approve, and the Congress that approves it is both Republican and Democrat. Because when you people talk, you try to make it seem like it was just some Democrat who took the country's money and tried to put it into a project, and that's not how it works. We know the Congress approves it, and the Congress includes both the Republicans and the Democrat. So what this guy essentially has been doing in some of this in this Dodges, whatever project they don't like or they don't think is useful, they try to take it out and say, "Oh, it's corruption." That's not corruption. It's just a project that you may not like. Yeah, you can talk about it if it's not beneficial in the overall, uh, benefit of the country. But when you just say, "Oh, because I don't like something," or because I just want to prove a point that I'm saving money, that I'm cutting certain project, it doesn't make sense. Another thing is you're firing people. Just yesterday, over 50% of the Department of Education has been asked to resign. So, what do you think is going to happen to those people? They're going to come into the same economy that is the same job market that is already oversaturated, and that would affect the economy in the long run. So, at the end of the day, I still think for anybody who wants to emerge as the leader of the Democratic Party, and I've seen some of them, they're starting to speak to this point. And also, one of the things that was discovered, some of these people Elon is trying to fire is because they're trying to shrink or try to save money from for the government, so that by the time the government gives this billionaire tax cut, the deficit won't be overwhelmingly glaring, because they would have fired people and the money they're supposed to pay these people would have been used to to balance everything up. And that's unfair because you're trying to fire innocent middle class Americans to satisfy your billionaire donors. That's unfair. So I think those are anybody who wants to emerge as the new leader of this Democratic Party at this time should be hitting on this point and making those points known.
Okay. If that's what you believe, I'm going to let you ride. But because I'm not
Prove me
really
with contrary fact or evidence.
you know, all these things you cannot really prove them just yet. You are saying that they are firing all these people so they can balance the budgets, but how could that be true when reports will also come and show that more people are getting unemployment, and that is also another way of government spending money. But I'm sure they have everything under control. But today we are talking about the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I like
And
how you people always end up with, oh, you. I think, I think Elon Musk is just a fairly basic, average, smart guy. You people make him always sound like he's the most intelligent person and he has everything under control. No, is every time you speak with Republicans and you question them deep down on this Doge thing, oh, Elon has it under control. All of them always says that like you think it's some super magical human that just know what to do.
no,
I,
I
I don't
think
think he's a stupid person, but I also don't think he's as smart as you people try to
make him
make
say.
him seem like. Yeah, he's an intelligent man, but yeah, it's
Okay,
just
I
an
mean,
average, intelligent, rich white boy that had his father's money to pull strings. So why are we trying to make it seem like he was some low life poor kid that his intelligence brought to the top of the world?
so many people had their father's money and they didn't amount to anything. I
That
mean,
too.
look at Joe Biden's son. His father,
Joe
is
Biden
held,
was never a billionaire. Joe Biden
maybe
was
not a billionaire, but his father has always held, very well recognized position in in the government,
that
but
doesn't
decided
translate
to do
to
crack
money.
all his life. Decided to embarrass his family. But that's besides the point.
That's besides the point because Biden has about four children. So one of them decides to be defiant. We want to judge him. How about his son Bo Biden that was a war veteran?
All
Did
right.
you talk about that?
Yes, I'm not trying to make this about
Well,
Republican
yeah.
let's talk about the
Let's
Democratic
stick to
Party.
my party. So on the issue of economy, I've answered you that
uh,
I think any serious Democrat who wants to be the leader of this new party has a strong messaging on the economy. So on what other policy or aspect of
all
this?
right, so back in this past election that went, the Biden administration with Kamala, they made it seem like they couldn't control the border crossing without passing any laws. But in less than 2 weeks, we noticed that Trump did that. They stopped all the illegal crossing. The number went to almost zero from
All the
thousands.
illegal crossing.
Not all. Don't pinpoint at all. Okay, so but they were able to significantly reduce the number without having to pass any laws. Do you think the new Democratic potential leader that will come will have a better messaging on the borders?
I'll start with this, and I think I've said it on this show that I agree that the first 2 years of Biden administration, he was very weak on the border issue. But towards the end of his administration, and when I guess when the Republicans started to make the border a thing, eventually got strict with it, and he started to reduce and drastically the the people coming in reduced. But yeah, I would give it to Trump that in the last couple of weeks, people have not people have not been able to come in as much as they used to. And you said something. I don't think it's about the law. It's just about how each of the president approached the issue. One was, excuse me, calm about it. He didn't really say anything about it, so people didn't care. Another like made threats that there will be consequence if you do this. So I guess the fear factor of, oh, there's a new sheriff in town that says if we do this there's gonna be consequence, is what's keeping people to the minimum. So I agree that anybody that has to come in from the Democratic side may have a strong opposition on trying to use the border against Trump. Now, they may not be able to use the border, but there's a way they can still use the immigration policy as a whole against them. If I were the leader of the Democratic Party, there are some things that I've seen in the immigration that I would use as a point to come for this administration.
Okay. So speaking of that, I believe, they may pinpoint all those little things that have been happening, such as citizens being deported. But, there've only been a couple of cases. It's not like it's happening on a large scale.
You can use those citizens that have been unnecessarily harassed before they by ICE agent. You can use the green card holders that are they trying so desperately to revoke. You could use the scenario where it took a bunch of people and they were taken to Guantanamo, whatever it is.
Guantanamo
People
Bay.
that, yeah, people you could have sent back to their natural country of origin. You took them to a whole different campsite to drop them and dehumane them and make them feel less like they're human beings. So I think those are situations that can be used against the administration. But also the bigger problem is this: whoever the leader of this party is going to be next would unfortunately not be going against Trump. Though they would have to use Trump record to judge whoever is coming in from the Republican Party.
I,
Because
I think for that to happen, though, they must have not been harboring all these illegal immigrants, because most Democrats are for illegal immigrants. In fact, a lot of their cities and towns, they're saying, oh, everybody can come here. We are welcoming you here. And they won't even release those people to the ICE
I,
agents.
I think we've agreed that the Democrats are the party of the immigrant. And I think that is a good thing because immigrants are the backbone of this country.
So
Even Ronald Reagan, the
does
great
that
Ronald.
have to be the illegals?
Now, some people, now I get it. There's a thing against illegal immigrants, yes. But I think some people running here came for the good life, for the greener pasture, and they wanted their lives to be better. So I think those people should be given an opportunity. Democrats like Hillary Clinton has said it, like Obama, they've said it. Yeah, if you come in, yeah, okay, you're welcome, but you're not just gonna be welcome. You have to not be a criminal. You have to subject yourself to learning and acclimatizing to the American culture. So you're not going to be a problem to us. So I think that is a reasonable way to approach that issue. But when you just want to demonize a whole group of people, I don't think it's fair. I've I have repeatedly agreed with the Trump administration that any of those illegal immigrants that is caught committing crime should be deported. But the ones that are yet to seek better life and contribute uh, positively to the American economy and American society at large should be kept within the country. The current Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is a product of an illegal immigrant. His father fled Cuba at the height of the crisis and came here. But today, Rubio is the Secretary of State. So those are the possibilities of the American dreams. Imagine Marco Rubio's father was deported. Even the great Donald Trump, his great grandfather too, came from somewhere. So at the end of the day, I think people should be given chances, but the legals must and I mean the criminals amongst them must and should be deported.
All right. And then speaking about criminals and knowing all the policies that the Democratic Party have been creating to harbor criminals. What do you think? Who do you think has a stronger messaging on crime? Because crime has been plaguing our neighborhoods, our society. America as a whole, you know, we are known for, a lot of us are known for being criminals, in the sense that we know in our schools people are not safe. We know in many neighborhoods people are not safe. And these neighborhoods tend to be Democrat controlled neighborhood. So can you tell me who in your party do you believe will come out and make Americans feel safe enough to want to vote for them?
So that's that. You talked about school shooting, if I'm not wrong. The most recent school shooting that happened in the state controlled by the Republican Party, and also it's the Republican Party. And these people who have done the school shootings are not immigrants; they're American citizens. Most of the people, when they check them, some, not all, have leaned towards the Republican Party in their voting or support. And Republican Party is still also the party that is likely against the Common Sense Gun Control Act that the Democrat is proposing. And every time we talk about this, they come with, oh, they want to take our guns. And we've told you many times, some of the Democrats have guns too. Nobody wants to take your gun. We're just saying that the people who needs to have guns have to be people without no questionable criminal past. They are mentally stable, and the type of gun you also own. Why are you owning a war weapon in your house? You can have a pistol, you can have an AK-47. I don't. I think AK-47 is not even a small gun. It's a big gun. You don't need any big gun like you're in the face of the war. So on the issue of crime now, I think I have issues with certain Democrats or Democratic, cities on how they handle the crime. I think sometimes they tend to be too liberal with that they let criminals get away with things. So I think at the moment I haven't seen any Democrat that has spoken very tough like the Republicans would on crime. But at the end of the day, I think criminals should not be let go easily, especially people that are repeated offenders or people who commit very violent crime. But then I don't think any democratic cities also letting violent criminals rock. I think they just have more leniency towards people who commit certain crimes. But I haven't seen any of these emerging leaders of the party talked about crime in the toughest way possible yet. But I would assume none of them is a sympathizer for criminals to go scot freely, especially violent criminals.
So these are the issues that mostly affect the national election. People care about their money, they care about their safety, and they care about their
True.
security. But all these things we've mentioned, you haven't really convinced me enough to believe that the Democratic Party stands a chance. I think you guys are in very, very bad states right now. And
I
it's
don't.
either you take a stance and stand for something rather than trying to play it safe. You guys may lose the 2028 election, even the midterm.
I the 2028 election might be too far to start to predict because we don't know who would eventually become that national beacon of hope yet. There are a lot of people, people that you look at and you be like, oh yeah, it could be this guy, it could be that guy. People, their judge is another guy. A lot of people, thought, oh, but politics is funny. A new face can come out at any time and could have a message that resonates largely with a lot of people, and there's still Kamala that people are hoping she could stage a comeback. But
Oh
if you
no!
ask no no
Please
but
don't
if you
talk about
asked
Kamala,
me
man.
but if you asked me I would say she had a chance. Somebody else needs to come.
Are you saying yes to Kamala or no?
I just said no.
Oh, okay.
I
I
just said
didn't
she
hear you
had a
well.
chance. Somebody else needs to come. I think if you, I don't, I just don't see how that the pathway for her to come to stage that comeback may be a little difficult. There's people want to hear newer people. She had a chance. Unfortunately, she didn't win. I feel bad for her, and I felt bad that she lost the election. But I think somebody new needs to come up, and yeah, I'd hope that somebody new comes up. But for the midterms, I just think even if the party doesn't have a definite leader by midterm, the frustration of the American people would naturally speak. And from the trajectory, if you follow American politics in history, usually the president's party doesn't always do well in midterms because there are some people that would just be pissed off with the president by that midterm, and that's usually their first opportunity to show that yeah we don't fuck with you at the moment. Excuse my French for lack of better word. So and I think at the moment Trump is pissed off a lot of people low key. Some of them may not come out, and you could tell that some of these people are pissed when Republicans are saying no more town halls at this moment because the couple of Republican congressmen that has gone back to their constituencies to do town halls, they got booed. So that's a message already. If you're already being booed 4 months into your term, there's a
Okay.
there's a problem. So I think whether or not the party has a definite leader by midterm, there's still chances for the Democrats to stage a comeback in Congress at least by midterm. But by 2028 for the presidency, that's a different ballgame. By then, at least we should have two or three guys. When I mean guys, includes women that would have been, on the chart at the top national level. So I would hope that we will be able to find and get someone around that time that people would be able to relate with. I still think Tim Walz is starting to chart that course for himself, but hey, we'll see if he gets to send a message that it's nationally. But I think is the first person that has taken a very bold idea of, oh, if you're a Republican congressman or woman, will not come to speak with you. I will come to speak with you. And I think tomorrow is going to Iowa to start that. And Iowa is a very strong Republican. The last Democrat that won it was Obama. So it's a strong Democrat. I'm a Republican state, so he's trying to start to go to those places to create familiarity. So if this idea that is starting, if it gains a momentum and people likes it, that could start to position him with already his newly acquired national reputation as the vice as a running mate to Kamala. That could help him.
Okay. I think it's going to be very hard to do when he's the guy that supports putting tampon in men's bathroom. Everybody knew Tim was as tampon Tim. That would be very hard, considering that he will likely be running against our guy Vance. A lot of Democrats may not like Vance, but you better believe it. This guy is a darling to many Republicans and the whole of the country because he came from nothing and became something. Even though you might not like him due to his political party, this guy is married, is raising lovely family, and he has a stance that many Republicans agree with. But let me give you my final thoughts on this.
I,
Okay, I think. Go ahead.
I mean, before you, I don't think you see, Vance is one of the biggest con men in American history. I'll give it to you that J.D. Vance is a smart man. You don't need to be told. You could just tell. But it's one of those people that I describe as evil genius. People will know better, but they can decide to play stupid if playing stupid would earn them what they want. Some of the things I think it says now, it's not some it's necessarily some of the things he believes in. We've seen a lot of people that grew up with him, including his cousin that I still watched recently on. Some of the things he says now are not the things he believes. And I still think even in it, I could be wrong, even in his secret place, he doesn't believe some of those things he says. But those are just the things that he knows people likes to hear. Those are the ways it can get people to pander towards him. So I just see him as somebody who says the things people largely want to hear, not necessarily the truth or what he himself believes in deep down his heart.
And then that summarizes politician. I
That
think smart
summarizes a
politician.
terrible person.
That summarizes a typical politician,
No,
because we know Biden did not believe in being gay or being trans, but he went along with it because he had to do what he had to do. To, I mean, I can play you multiple videos
I
of.
agree that people change their positions on issues. I have had certain issues too that I changed my position. I was using the gay example. At some point, I didn't believe in that idea. I thought it was wrong. It was this and the third. But as I continued to grow, I switched my position. If you want to be gay, if you want to be a lesbian, if you want to be a trans, if you want to be a queer, whatever you want to be, that's perfectly fine by me. So far, you're not hurting me, and you're not actively trying to indoctrinate innocent children, you're good. That's the only red line for me is if you try to force your idea on me or on innocent children. Let those children become adults and decide if that's what they want to do. But as far as you're living your life, it's your personal choice. You can do what you want to do. It's a free world.
Yes, even though I don't think Biden changed, he did not change. The man that didn't change his position in his 40s, 50s, and even 60s, all of a sudden changed his position in the 70s. That's
The
very,
voice
very,
changes.
uh, most 60, 70 years olds don't change their position.
It's
That, you
not
know,
much. He just said he's a politician. So as for there were things Donald Trump did it, supported abortion at some point. When they saw that supporting abortion will not earn him support from the base, he switched to no abortion. When he saw that he was losing people, he said abortion is no longer his problem. It should be dealt with by them. So politicians, at the end of the day, read the room, try to understand what these people are saying. If the position I'm taking is largely against what people want, you have to find a way to be flexible, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that.
but you just pretty much try to demonize
No, I'm
Mr.
not. I don't.
Vance.
This is the difference with France now. You can change your position on something and come out clearly that I was wrong. I had an initial position on this. This is my new position. But Vance tries to outsmart people by trying to lie, over lie, and over lie, and it starts to look like, yeah, you could just come out and say, I believed this 10 years ago, but 10 years later, I don't believe in it. It's simple. Kamala flip flop too. That she was against fracking at some point, and when she became a national candidate and she had to run, and they were asking about it, she was for it. So
Okay. I mean, Kamala is not a good politician. Everybody knows it. And that's why, thank God, we dodged her. We didn't elect her as our leader. Thank God. Thank God. I can imagine what we would be right now.
life
I'm
would have
probably,
been much better than it is. We wouldn't be in global. We won't be fighting wars right now. We won't be doing economic wars with our allies and our neighbors. We'll be in peace with, with Mexico, with Canada. And the funniest thing about Trump fighting Canada on this economic war is, our guys would have to come to the end of this episode. Please continue to like, share, and hold on.
yes. Sorry about
I
that.
almost rounded up
Uh,
the episode, but so I thought you left like Trump always leaves us to go
no,
play golf.
Kamala's agents reached out to me. They're the ones that made my connection disconnect because they knew I was about to go in on her.
Anyways, I I mean we will.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. We'll be rounding up this
I,
episode
I,
anyway.
I don't know who you are sending over, who Kamala's agent is sending over to come mess with my internet. But let me give you my final thoughts right quick. So I think the Democratic Party is in danger until you guys actually have a strong person that will have a stance that will resonate well with the people. You guys may not be able to win national election because right now in the Republican Party they have multiple people that can compete nationally. JD Vance being the top guy. Ramaswamy is another one that would do really well. Even um,
Yeah, man,
this
Swami,
DeSantis would do really great because he's been doing really
DeSantis, the
yes,
same DeSantis.
yes. He's gonna be a boring guy, but he's gonna win election nationally
I don't
because this
think
guy
this.
is an ultra
If
Christian.
DeSantis had if DeSantis had anything in him, he had this last election to have proven that when Trump was down bad battling court cases, he had DeSantis in this last election had the most money earned by any candidate for in the primaries, and it was useless. Even with Elon Musk backing him at that time, you know, Trump was not Elon Musk's first puppet. It was DeSantis. When DeSantis couldn't bring back his return, he switched to the other guy that he saw. But I think at this moment, JD Vance is the only guy in the Republican Party that is that has a good national profile, and it's not thanks to him. It's thanks to Trump.
Whoever we want to give thanks to, the thing is, whoever wins the nomination of the party, it could be DeSantis, it could be Vance, it could be Ramaswamy. Whenever they get one of those guys, they will likely win the national election
It's
because
funny how you
they are
think
more
Swami
relatable.
will win the national election when somebody in your party said to his face on his own podcast that he would never vote for him because he's not American. I like your hope. I like your optimism.
Yes. So, the thing is, people, a lot of people are very partisan, and they will rather vote for somebody, even though they may not agree. Just like Kamala, most Democrats didn't like Kamala, but they would rather her than Trump. And a lot of people decided not to vote. So if Ramaswamy became the nominee, it would dominate because this guy can talk and he knows exactly what he's doing. He's a
I,
very
I
brilliant.
don't I don't think it's just about being able to talk. It's about people first liking you. And for what is what, I don't think Ramaswamy is that guy that you just see and you easily like. My opinion. And I don't think the Republican Party would even cast a doubt or shadow of doubt on him to get to that strong position. There's too many things already. Then his feelings about white people already. You think people are just gonna let that slide, but we're not. We will begin 2028. By then, would have seen whoever rises to the helm of both parties by then. But largely, I think Republican nominee would likely be determined by Trump. But for the Democrat, it's still an open field. Is it's whosoever becomes smart, lucky, and fortunate enough to pass a message that resonates. Again, I'm starting to see Tim Walz in that angle. He may not be the guy at the end of the day. 4 years is a long time. Like you said, anybody could still pop up in between and just become the golden boy. So that'll be it for this episode, guys.
Thank you for coming back to the channel. Please like and subscribe. I think we had a very productive conversation today. So please leave comment. I engage. Let's keep the engagement going under the comment section. Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming again. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next episode. Bye.